Hi there, it's Rosie from Recipes, and I'm going to show you how to make homemade bread without using a bread machine. For this recipe, I will be using my stand mixer. Do you need a stand mixer for this recipe? Absolutely not, but it is a lot easier. So we're going to start off by pouring in some warm water. I sprinkled in my active dry yeast. I'm now sprinkling in my granulated sugar, and then I'm going to whisk everything until it is nicely dissolved, or until it is as dissolved as I can get it. Now I'm going to let this sit for about 5 to 7 minutes, or until the yeast is nice and foamy just like this. And now I'm going to start pouring in some more warm water, and I'm also going to pour in some melted butter at this time. And now we are ready to put our mixers to work. So I'm going to start off on a low speed, and now I'm going to start sprinkling in some all-purpose flour, but I'm only going to add in 1 cup at a time. At this time, I'm also going to sprinkle in a little bit of salt, and I'm going to eventually turn the speed up. Now, if you don't mind, if you're enjoying this recipe, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Thank you in advance. And now we are ready to remove our dough from our mixer. Now, as you can see, the dough is really sticky, but you want a sticky dough. If your dough is sticky, that's just going to let you know right then and there that you did it right, and you're going to have some nice fluffy bread at the end of this. Now, we are going to just knead our bread for about 10 minutes. And then we're going to let it rest. Now for the resting part, you're going to need to oil a bowl or a pot, and then you're going to place the dough in there, okay? So it's lightly oiled. Now we're going to cover this, and we're going to let it rest for about 1.5 hours. And while it's resting, it needs to be placed in a warm area. Now after that resting period, it's going to double or be doubled in size. You're going to need to punch it in the middle to get rid of all that excess air, and now we're going to knead the dough for another 10 minutes. I'm going to divide the dough in half because I'm making 2 loaves of bread, and it does not have to be the exact same size. As long as it looks the same size, you're good to go. I'm going to flatten this dough down, and then I'm going to grab 2 loaf pans that I lightly oiled, and I'm going to press the dough down. Now I'm going to cover these 2 loaf pans. I'm just going to use a towel, a nice clean towel, and I'm going to let this rest for about maybe 45 minutes to an hour, or until it doubles in size. Again, while it's resting, it should be in a warm spot. Now this is what it looks like once it doubled in size. Now I'm going to bake it in the oven on 375 Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes. Once the bread is done, I'm going to remove it from the oven, of course, and then I'm going to immediately dump it out of my loaf pans, and I'm going to let the bread cool on top of a baking rack or a cooling rack. Now don't forget, if you want the exact measurements for this recipe, it can be found on my blog, iHeartRecipes.com. This bread is perfect for toast, bread pudding, sandwiches, anything you want to do with your bread, you can use this recipe for. It is simply amazing, and it always comes out so light and fluffy. Definitely give this recipe a try and tell me what you think. And don't forget to visit me every Sunday and Wednesday for new recipes. See you soon.